Hello everyone, John from Nintendo Life here, and I am afraid to say that there is an imposter among us, and it might be PJ O'Reilly who wrote this review for NintendoLife.com, and it was translated to video by me. Anyway, let's find out if Among Us for Nintendo Switch is worth your time. Inner Sloth's Among Us has been something of a gaming sensation in 2020, some 2 whole years after it first quietly released on iOS and Android as a free-to-play mobile game. This is due to a combination of factors, which no doubt include a huge Twitch popularity driven by its unique social aspects, and a captive lockdown audience looking for some simple multiplayer fun times. Now this cute little indie gaming experiment is one of the most talked about titles of the entire year. And having been left out of the party up until this point, Switch owners finally get to join in the fun with a cross-play enabled port, which has a few niggling issues here and there, but overall, delivers in serving up some super addictive whodunit hijinks. Among Us sees groups of between 4 and 10 players come together as crewmates aboard one of 3 claustrophobic spacecraft, where they then work together to complete a checklist of random tasks. But there's a twist. You must keep a key eye out for an imposter, or 3 lurking within their ranks. The imposter, or imposters, are randomly assigned at the beginning of each round, and must attempt to murder all the other players, sabotage their craft, and generally cause a nuisance without raising suspicion to their true identity. And if they're found, they're jettisoned out of the ship into the never-ending blackness of the space void. That or usually some innocent person. Whoops. The genius here is in how such a simple premise, one that takes no time at all for even the most casual of gamers to get to grips with, can lead to so much actual tension and genuine hilarity. The social interactions that take place, the paranoia, the emergency meetings full of backstabbing, cajoling, and barefaced lies, the imposters attempting to set one another up, and the arguments that break out. It's never less than supremely entertaining. Of course, being an online game where you'll spend the majority of your time playing with randoms, the quality of your experience can be vastly affected by the players you'll join with at any given time. But with servers currently full of eager participants, we found that Among Us delivers far more often than it lets you down, and if you're playing with a bunch of friends locally or over the interweb, it's a guaranteed blast. Porting this game to Switch means Inner Sloth had to tackle the Switch's unique control setup, and in this regard there's a few niggling issues. And the biggest is to do with communication. If you're not using the likes of Discord to talk to other players, then you must type in your questions using the Switch's keyboard. In docked mode, this is a bit of a pain. Not only is it slow, but the overlay blocks the entire conversation. It's not a huge problem, but it's one that's much less of an issue in handheld mode. The touchscreen is simply far more intuitive. Elsewhere, however, the controls have been well implemented. In handheld, the touchscreen makes various little task-based minigames a breeze to blast through. There's also gyro controls, which are useful for blasting away asteroids, but these rather bizarrely only work when docked. Hopefully this is patched into handheld later, because this is a very fun way to play the game. Just like the PC version of Among Us, this port will set you back a measly couple of pounds, a fee which sees you free from the shackles of the free-to-play mobile version's incessant advertising. However, it's a shame that, for now, this Switch edition is missing out on some content in the form of skins, which players can use to customize their cute little avatars. It's not a massive omission, and we're sure these things will turn up sooner rather than later, but it's something worth noting when deciding between different versions of the game. Slight control issues and missing skins aside, this is the exact same Among Us you'll likely already know and love, packed full of the same addictive silliness that has seen it surge into massive popularity in 2020. This is a wonderful little multiplayer experience, and one that's a perfect fit for the Switch. Among Us is simply one of the year's most compelling casual gaming experiences. Among Us is an instantly accessible and super addictive casual gaming experience that serves up some hilarious whodunit hijinks in short bursts that are perfectly suited to portable play. There's a few issues here and there regarding the controls and communication, but this is a fine port that finally enables Switch gamers to jump in and see what all the fuss is about with this most unlikely of gaming sensations. We here at Nintendo Life give Among Us an 8 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching, and for even more Switch reviews, check out NintendoLife.com. Until then, make sure that subscribe button isn't an imposter, and then press it, and we will catch you on the flip side of space. Until next time everyone, bye. Oh, the video's still going, which means it's time for my opinion. Now, I have somehow gone the entirety of this year being a social outcast, not playing Among Us. This Switch port is the very first time I've played this game, and I've gotta say, my first impressions, it's incredibly addictive. I intended to maybe get an hour of footage for this video, and I ended up with 3 hours. And while recording this right now, I'm thinking about going back to play this game. It's so simple, you just go around and suspect everyone, and while the minigames themselves are very simple, like it's usually just pressing a button or waiting for a screen to load, it's the tension that comes from any task that makes this game just exhilarating to play. It doesn't matter your skill level whatsoever either. You can be someone who plays games every single day, or someone who's never touched a game before in their life, and I think you can still find a lot of enjoyment, because the barrier to entry is so low. It's no surprise this thing is such a phenomenon. I only played on 2 different maps, but somehow the variety there was more than enough. Every single round felt fresh, and every movement and decision felt like it had a consequence. Nothing is ever the same, and you're always on the edge of your seat. It's hilarious, it's genuinely tense, and I have been missing out. So if, like me, you've completely ignored this trend, then jump on now, it is not too late. I've only played with randoms, not with any friends, and I've still had an absolute blast, and I can only imagine that playing with friends is just gonna totally multiply that feeling. So this gets the John stamp of approval, and I'm gonna go and play some more Among Us. Bye for real, and have a good Christmas.